Hi everyone, it's Flora. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all enjoyed the ending of the beach arc because I certainly did. It was incredible, very emotional, and sometimes hard to watch, but amazing story, and I'm really happy with how the anime is handling the manga so far. I'm very excited to start seeing the content after the beach arc, so the rest of the season is looking to be really good. So in today's video, I'll be doing a manga comparison of episode 10 of season 2. First, I'll be doing a summary of the two chapters that it's based on, chapters 64 and 65. Then I'll go through the episode and compare between the manga and the anime. And then at the end, I'll open up the video to some manga spoiler discussion where I'll be talking about what I expect for the next few episodes and onwards. There will be a spoiler warning beforehand, so people who are watching the series for the first time, I'll let you know ahead of time. Alright, let's get started. After an emotional and compelling episode 9, things continue to intensify in episode 10 for a fantastic conclusion to the beach arc. The two opposing forces in this series, Akito and Toru, representing the abusive past and a hopeful future, finally confront each other in an emotionally engaging conversation that changes the series forever. New discoveries and realizations allow a new path to unfold, and it's clear that although the summer vacation is ending, its impact will last on both viewers and the characters. This engaging episode followed the manga almost exactly and had breathtaking visualization and incredible storytelling. Another fantastic episode that sets a new atmosphere for the next arc in the story. Chapter 64 begins with everyone discussing their plans to do fireworks the next day, since they will be leaving the summer home the day after. Toru is surprised and reflects on how time flew by during their vacation. Yuki apologizes about everyone having to leave Toru to see Akito during their stay, but Toru reassures them, saying that it was still a precious time. Toru wonders how this vacation has changed her, and she overhears a conversation between Momiji and Kyo. Kyo tells Momiji that he understands now why everyone left to see Akito. It was to protect Toru. Momiji says that even if that's true, he is still selfish by wanting to spend time with Toru since he loves her so much. The words make Toru emotional, and she composes herself before greeting them in the hallway. She thinks about how everyone has given her so much, and she wants to do something more for them. The scene changes to Akito and Shigure, where Akito gets upset and says that Shigure used to be much nicer in the past. Akito starts to ask him about someone, but Kureno comes in and says that there is trouble at the main estate, and that they must leave promptly. Next, Momiji sees Akito approaching the summer home, and when Akito asks to wake Toru so that they can speak to her, Momiji blocks Akito and tries to reason with them. Akito punches Momiji in the face, and suddenly Toru runs in, shouting to stop, putting herself between Akito and Momiji. Akito goes on to tell her that she's a terrible person, and that they came here to see Toru. Akito grabs her face and continues to say cruel things, and Momiji runs to get help. Akito then tells Toru the truth, that Kyo will be confined for life just like the previous cat after graduation, and that everyone will eventually return to the Soma estate for an eternal banquet, where they will live and die with Akito. Chapter 65 continues right where 64 left off with Toru and Akito. After Akito revealing the fate of the Zodiac, Toru asks if that future is truly what Akito wants. Akito tells her to stop wording it like it's a bad thing, and that an outsider has no right to judge their way of life. Toru thinks about how Akito can't be the rooster, and asks what their place is in the Zodiac. Akito places their hand on Toru's face, and Toru suddenly remembers her mother telling her the story of the Zodiac, and realizes Akito's role while they scratch her face. Akito says that they are God, the master of the Zodiac's souls. Kureno suddenly appears and Akito introduces him as the rooster. Akito whispers to Toru that all of the Zodiac will eventually return and to stay out of their affairs or she will be punished. Akito and Kureno leave and Toru sinks to the ground, processing everything that happened. Hattori and Shigure arrive to check on her and share that Momiji was the one to find them and get help. Toru asks where Momiji is and if he's alright, and sees that he is standing nearby. She runs to him concerned, and Momiji tries to apologize to her, but he is still in shock and then breaks down. Toru hugs him, and Shigure and Hattori comment on how Momiji did his best. Kyo, Haru, and Yuki see Toru hugging transform Momiji from afar, and Kyo says that he feels pathetic and disgusted with himself and storms away. Yuki comments on how even Kyo feels pathetic sometimes too, and Haru says that protecting someone isn't always simple. And Yuki and Kyo think about how they want to protect Toru above all else. The next day, everyone goes to the beach to do fireworks and they have a great time together. Toru thinks about how deep in their hearts, she's sure everyone wants to be free from the curse. She tells herself that even if she's punished, she wants to break the curse. Yuki tells Toru that the memories they've made together on vacation are precious to him, and they all sit down to watch fireworks together. That's it for the summary, now we're going to move on to the episode. The episode starts with the beginning of chapter 64, where the scene followed the manga's dialogue exactly. When Toru reflects on the events that happened on their vacation, I liked how the anime visualized this by showing some flashbacks. The anime followed the manga's expressions of the characters, and it was so nice seeing them together again after these last couple of episodes when they were with Akito. There's some additional minor dialogue in the manga where Haru says, "We'll launch them with a bang that renders the darkness," to which Yuki replies, "We don't have any fireworks that big, just so you know." There's also a small line of Hiro saying, "I wanted it to just be the two of us," regarding Kisa watching the Mogeta anime with them. The next scene with Toru overhearing Momiji and Kyo is actually one of my favorites in the series. This conversation between Momiji and Kyo is followed exactly, and I think it's important that Toru is able to hear from their perspective. After Momiji says that he's selfish for loving Toru so much, Toru gets emotional. During this shot, she doesn't say anything in the anime, but in the manga, she internally says, "Such kind, warm people." I like this line, and I'm not sure why the anime didn't include it, but I feel like either way, you can tell how she's feeling from her expression alone. I like how Kyo said that he's selfish too. It shows that he's accepted his feelings for Toru and admits similar feelings to Momiji about the topic. This moment where Toru takes a deep breath to compose herself is actually really important. I feel like it's an example of many other times we may not have seen so far, how she composes herself before putting on that smiling face that we always see. And that can apply to everyone else too. Momiji and Kyo, despite having a serious conversation earlier, fall back into their typical roles when Toru joins the conversation. A great aspect of Fruits Basket is the depth of the characters, and as the series moves forward, we're able to see more of that. Also, Kyo's face still has a mark from Akito in the manga during this scene, but it clears up the next day. I like the shot of Toru looking down here, and although the dialogue is the same in the manga and anime, the anime adds an extra scene during Toru's internal monologue of everyone watching Mogeta together. I thought it was a cute addition to show everyone spending time together. This next scene with Shigure and Akito was followed really well. The dialogue is exactly the same, and even most of the shots. I'm so impressed with Akito's voice acting. They really do a good job of showing Akito's emotions and instability. The anime adds a flower in this quick flashback. In the manga, it's just their hands. But there is more context related to the flower that will become relevant later. This shot of Akito caught me off guard. It really added to the intensity of the scene. Everything is still followed exactly with Kureno arriving, up until Akito is about to leave Shigure. There is one more line in the manga where Shigure says, regarding Akito's suspicion of him, "Really, Akito, I don't know what I do to deserve it." It cuts to Akito for a second, and then they leave. Shigure is such an interesting and chaotic character. I'm happy to see the anime portray him so well. After the moment where Akito is upset and mentions that woman, the anime adds a scene of Kureno noticing that Akito has left. I like this added transition because it gives more clarification on what is happening in the moment. This next scene with Momiji still breaks my heart to this day. It's hard to read, and it was even harder to watch. He is just such a pure, wonderful person, and hands down one of my favorite characters. The scene is emotional, but it was really well done. It followed the manga exactly, and with the added voice acting and music, it really brings out so much. The sound effect of the punch hit me like a brick. It was such a shocking scene to see Akito harm even the most innocent of people without hesitation. When Toru desperately asks Akito to stop, and immediately puts herself in front of Momiji to protect him, I can't help but get emotional. She loves them so much and will do whatever it takes to keep her new family safe. Akito's lines continue, and the anime still follows the manga exactly, up until this shot here of Akito holding Toru's face. In the manga, there's a panel showing that this is the moment where Momiji runs to get help, when Akito says, "I'll tell you the truth." We didn't get a shot of him actually leaving, so for a second I wondered if the anime was going to keep Momiji there when Akito tells Toru about Kyo's confinement. Momiji obviously left at some point, and I'm pretty sure it was around the same time as the manga, because I always felt that Akito's reveal here was an intense but private moment between just Akito and Toru. This line where Akito tells Toru about Kyo's confinement and the future of everyone in the Zodiac is such an important scene. I thought it was really well done, and I love the music here. In the manga, Akito doesn't move during their entire conversation, but in the anime, Akito starts to walk away from Toru when they say, "But I'm not letting you join us," which is the last line of chapter 64. Chapter 65 begins when Toru starts to speak again. The conversation is followed the same, but Akito and Toru are no longer standing next to each other. It's a minor change, but it provided some nice new angles for the anime. Akito starts to walk back when Toru asks what Akito's place is in the Zodiac, and I think this animation added to the dramatic reveal of Akito's role. This is one of the biggest scenes in the entire series, and the anime did an incredible job. Hearing Kyoko's voice along with the music seriously gave me goosebumps. The series will take on a different tone after the beach arc, and I think this scene is proof of that. Kureno arriving is also followed the same, and Akito's last words to Toru are so chilling to hear. While Toru processes what she's just learned, the anime adds a couple shots, one of all of the Zodiac members standing around Akito, and one of Kyo. I really like this visualization that the manga didn't have. It connects this new concept to all of the characters we've seen so far in the series. These characters that we've grown to care about are binded to a curse that Akito, their god, thinks is a blessing. The parallels between Akito and Toru are truly phenomenal. We have one character, Akito, a malicious presence that doesn't want change. They want to use their power and position to create an unchanging life, an eternal banquet between the members of the Zodiac. And then we have Toru, a benevolent presence that embraces everyone's change. She is Akito's natural opposite. The stark difference between them is astounding, but in a way, Toru and Akito share similar paths by bringing all of the characters together for a banquet. While Akito's banquet derives from the feelings of desperation and force, Toru's banquet derives from acceptance and love. The scene where Shigure and Hatori arrive is also followed pretty much exactly, with the same dialogue. The moment that Toru and Momiji share is very emotional, but it's one of my favorite scenes. Despite trying his best, Momiji is still shaken from Akito's abuse, and you can tell he feels terrible for not being able to help Toru more. I think she understands this though, and the hug they share is very special. It just shows how kind Toru is and how much she accepts and cares about everyone. I noticed one translation error with the anime during the scene with Haru, Yuki, and Kyo. Everything is followed the same, but during Yuki's line, the anime mentions she, which is incorrect. It's supposed to be he, because Yuki is talking about Kyo here, realizing that even Kyo feels pathetic sometimes too. There's another difference in the scene where Toru is looking at Momiji and Kisa sleeping. The anime gives her these lines, saying that she wants to protect them. In the Tokyo Bop manga, the line is, I want to protect her. I want to protect her above all else, and includes a panel of both Yuki and Kyo. I'm not sure what the line is in the Yen Press version, but I'm sure this line could apply to Toru, Yuki, and Kyo during this time. The Japanese dialogue that Toru says in the anime is mamoritai, mamotte masetai, which doesn't specify anyone specifically, but with the context we know she's referring to everyone. The last scene of the episode is so gorgeous. The backgrounds are so beautiful, and it makes me really appreciate seeing these scenes animated. Everything here is followed wonderfully, and I love that despite such heavy moments toward the ends of their vacation, they were all able to be together during this moment and just enjoy their time together. I was surprised to see that the anime added a couple shots of Rin watching them from afar. I like this addition though. Clearly she's still keeping an eye on things and mysteriously turns away. Instead of showing Rin in the manga, we are able to see the conversation with Momiji up close, which is a fun little moment. The last moments of the episode follow the manga exactly, with the same dialogue and angles. I think Toru's internal dialogue here is very monumental to the rest of the series. She realizes that everyone she has grown to care for is a victim of the curse, and she even recognizes that that may include Akito as well, and is still willing to put herself at risk to break it. She recognizes everyone's growth and wants to continue supporting them, and it makes me so proud of her as a character. This is the turning point in the series, and it's very exciting to know these new revelations going forward. I can't praise Fruits Basket enough. It's honestly an amazing series, and I'm so happy with the anime's adaptation so far. I'm really looking forward to see everything unfold in the rest of this season. Alright, that's it for my manga comparison. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. So like I said, this episode really did follow the manga pretty much exactly, and going forward with the series, I feel like they'll start rearranging some things now, but overall, amazing. I loved it, as always. So for the rest of the video, I'll be talking about some manga content that has not shown up in the anime yet, so if anyone is watching this series for the very first time and you don't want any spoilers, I suggest you exit this video after I put in my manga spoiler warning, but I really appreciate you watching, thank you so much, and I will be back on Monday with my episode 11 reaction. Hello manga people, how's it going? We're officially done with the beach arc, and I gotta say, it was incredible. I'm kind of sad that it's over because I really like this part of the series, but I think they did a great job, and I'm really excited to start seeing the content for the rest of season 2. At this point, I still don't know when they're gonna end season 2. I'm sure we'll figure it out as it gets closer, but I'm thinking that they might do all of volume 15 content and then maybe a little bit of volume 16. For the preview image from episode 11, it looks like it's gonna be focusing on the Kagura content, which is already kind of skipping forward a little bit, but to be honest, there's some Kagura content blended in all of the chapters, 66, 67, and 68, and maybe in a little bit of 69. So I have a feeling what they're gonna do with the next episode is they might do the conversation with Toru and Shisho, and then they might do the Kagura and Kyo content. As for the school stuff, I'm not sure if they'll put that in, they might just hold that until next time. But we know for a fact that the Kagura content will be happening next week, which is more heavy stuff, so I'm kind of surprised that they're doing it now. There's a part of me that's kind of happy that they're doing it now to kind of give that closure, because I would think that Toru is on Kyo's mind after everything that happened at the beach house, and Kagura being forward would make him want to clarify things with her. So I think it's a good choice that they're doing it next, but it is a little more emotionally heavy stuff, which we've been dealing with the past few episodes. So I'm hoping that they throw in some lightheartedness maybe in the beginning, just so we can have a little bit of a breather from what we've experienced these past few weeks. But honestly, you know, Fruits Basket will be a little more darker and dramatic from now on. But it's still good to have a balance between happy and sad moments. I'm really looking forward to seeing this episode because I feel like it's very important for Kaguro's character and also for Kyo. And with the end of episode 10, where Toru realized that she wants to break the curse, it makes sense that the next episode they would jump into the Shisho content because that's still relevant and probably on her mind as well. But as for the future of season 2, I'm not sure. I know we're still missing that Mayu content from that was technically in the beach arc. I'm thinking that they'll do it eventually, but maybe not right away. I know she was working at the store during the summer, so I would hope that they do it sooner than later, but we'll just have to wait and see. It's really interesting to see the reactions and reviews of people who are watching this series for the first time and their opinion of Akito. So I was curious and I wanted to ask all of you manga people what you think of Akito right now and how you feel about Akito's ending in the story. I'm not gonna be obvious with my spoilers in my video just in case people come in, but I will say that it's very hard to watch Akito in the anime knowing what happens in the future because I feel like watching these moments reminds me of how terrible Akito was. And I think of the ending and I'm like, did Akito deserve the ending that they got? Is it okay? I don't know. It seems like a lot of terrible things that have happened, and I know redemption is a very powerful thing, and I'm a sucker for redemptions for characters, but it's a lot, you know? There's a lot of history there and abuse, and seeing everyone's interpretation of Akito's abuse is pretty accurate and valid, and it makes me wonder if the anime will change anything for the future of the series. I still think Akito is a very interesting and important character. Personally, Akito's not my favorite character at all. And right now their scenes in the anime are just honestly very unsettling, and I can see why viewers are thinking that Akito is irredeemable. But I'm a sucker for happy endings, so I'm happy with the ending of Fruits Basket, so I don't know. It's just interesting to see everyone's opinions when they don't know what's gonna happen. But I am very excited for the rest of season 2. We got some really good moments coming up. I'm really excited for the Kyoto field trip with Kyo and Toru. There's gonna be some great moments between them. And I'm really excited to see more of the student council members and Yuki developing his friendships with them. It's gonna be so good, and I can't wait to see that side of Yuki. Let me know what you all think in the comments. I would love to chat, and thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate the likes and subscriptions I've gotten so far. If you did like this video, make sure to like and subscribe to support me for future content. Feel free to follow me on any of my social media I posted in the description below. I also have a Discord channel where I have a couple Fruits Basket channels. I talk about the manga spoilers, and then I also just have the anime only chat. I also stream on Twitch if you want to check me out on there too. I would love the support. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be back next Monday with my episode 11 reaction. Take care, bye!